Well, when women do enter the tournaments, do you think there's a certain pressure that they bring along with them because of their gender to like perform a certain way? Because they may like carry a stereotype with them. It's like, oh, if she's bad, then oh, because she's a girl. If she wins, then oh, it's because she's a girl. I went easy on her or something like that.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of that. It's like as a competitor myself, it's weird because I have like a lot of anxiety, and like to me, like being a woman in the community and fighting only accelerates it, right? Because for quite some time I was one of the only women competing at a high level for Dragon Ball. Um, still might be actually.
Yeah.
I think so. So, it's weird having like the pillar of your gender um, like rest on your shoulders in a way, because like how I place defines how women place, quote unquote, right? Like it's a weird position to be in, and a weird thing to do. It's very strange. And I'm of course of the cursed position where I always got seventh and fifth place. I never really got like first, second, third, fourth. Which means that you get on stage just in time to lose. So everyone goes, man, Yohozi never wins. Well, I don't see people, like, she sucks. And I'm like, I beat people to get there. It's a really weird position. And I think it puts a spotlight on you that isn't necessarily deserved for where you are as a player. And when I say that, I don't mean in a way that's like negative, like not uplifting. I mean that you have more people looking at you for what you symbolize than your play style that you bring, which in a social aspect is a good thing, right? Like I'm happy being like a woman in the fighting game community that's good. And I like being an inspiration to people. If I am an inspiration, if not, then whatever. I'm just some asshole that plays video games. But like I appreciate that I am that online, but in tournaments it really does put a spotlight on you that is not good for a competitive environment. I think that in pools when I was first starting, people would act really surprised when I was good. Like, who is this person? Why are they doing what they're doing? Like they beat me. Wow, you're really good for, you're actually pretty good. I got that comment a lot starting out. And I think it just shows that people just don't expect women to be very good at fighting games. It's still not something that exists. And, aside from Ricky, like there's really no women that really wins tournaments all the time. And Keane, it just doesn't.
Well, and I think Cuddlecore also like
Cuddlecore
gets top eights, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's interesting. It's a weird spotlight microscope that is very strange to be in as a competitor, but is good for like the inspirational piece. I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling a bit, but it's hard to put into words what it feels like to beat someone and their reaction being different than the last person that beat them.
Yeah, I mean, women in general get judged harder in our spotlight because I think there's less of us and people aren't used to it, so they don't know how to react, especially in like stream chats when they see us and everything. You know, Dawn has been in the spotlight as a top Dragon Ball player, and it's just better to like not look at the chats because they can't focus on the fact that like,
oh god, no,
like they don't focus on like your actual skill in the game, and if you don't do well, then apparently you're washed, even if you just made top 8. They hold like basically women players to the same standards they hold like somebody like Sonic, where if Sonic does actually lose, washed. It's like
I guess that's a good point. That's kind of what I'm trying to say, is that like, a normal person that places 5th or 7th, they'd go like, oh, good job, they got there, it sucks they didn't do better. When a woman gets 5th or 7th or 13th or 9th and all those horrible placements that suck to get as someone who's gotten them a lot, those are the bad feeling ones. It feels weird. It feels like your disappointment, right? And the stream chat goes like, oh, she can't even win, when like, the normal person that gets 5th or 7th, they're like, oh, good job, they made top 8, here's your medal, cool, clap clap clap. It's you definitely have more people judging you. Definitely have more people judging you in person and online, especially stream chat.
Yeah.
Not this stream chat though.
No, the stream chat.
Cool. Yeah, it's chill.
I noticed too, as like a commentator, where I've been able to like lend my skill set more, because I'll never make it out of pools, maybe someday, but
you will.
my record's like 2-2, I think, or 3-2. So someday we'll get past that. But as commentary, you know, just for an instance, to just like, this is like a prime example too, is I was paired last year, and luckily they listened to my advice after to like never put this person on Dragon Ball commentary again, because they literally knew nothing, but they put him on top 8 with me. I don't feel bad talking shit about him now because he was outed as a creeper by Infinity, but Devil May Spy, they put Devil May Spy on the mic with me at Sea Otaku last year for top 8, and the guy knows like some stuff from the Dragon Ball TV show, absolutely barely anything about the game. Like it was basically like the most painful thing, trying to hold down commentary by myself for a top 8 that had really good players in it. You know, there's so much I can do, but it is so hard not having somebody to bounce back at you. But you know who got blamed when things weren't like as hype and stuff, or like, you know, the people were like, where's my man Yipes? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I got blamed for it. Not the person next to me that knows jack shit about the game.
I remember that commentary. Yeah, you did get blasted for it, and like,
I'm the one who knows my shit.
He would say stuff, and you were just like, yeah.
Like I couldn't have synergy because he literally knew Jack diddly squat. Like,
yeah, and everyone blamed you. I remember that very well.
Yeah, and even if you go back and you find the videos on YouTube, because I think Data had the videos on YouTube from Sea Otaku last year, for top 8. People in the comments are like, worst commentary ever, and it's like, those same people would never say that about my commentary when you pair me with somebody like Sajam and other people who also know their shit. It's because I had a weak partner, but they chose to blame me, who was actually telling things about like whether it was like frames or like what moves were being done, etc., or backstories about these players, compared to the guy that was like, oh, zip, or like he like had like nothing to fucking say. Excuse my French.
Yeah. I remember actually earlier that tournament you did. Was it last year? It might have been the year before, but you did like top 32 commentary with my friend Drew Chuck, Andrew, and it was like totally fine. It was totally fine. Or maybe it wasn't. Was it Andrew or was it Raph? It was one of the two.
It was Raph. It was
Raph. You did it with Raph. Okay. It was Drew Chuck and someone else did the other one.
Oh, the previous Sea Otaku?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like when I was newer to like, you know, doing Dragon Ball. Like,
yeah, and you did fine. I think like just having no one to bounce it off of. But I mean, regardless, yeah, I know what you mean. Like you got undeservedly blasted for that.
Yeah, it's like I'm okay with like criticism, but the people whose criticism I'm gonna actually take the most serious are like players like you and like other players that I like know, because I'm not only like there on commentary talking about what you all are doing, I'm also like, you know, hanging out with some of you after and whatnot. So it's like always open to feedback and everything, and it's like I lab the game, so it's always a learning experience, you know. And you know, the real ones know, but the stream monsters, they can only make their guesses unless they know who I actually am.
Fighting ends are so different when you actually go.
But I just thought that was a good example, about how women, like even in commentary space, can get like blasted when we're with somebody who clearly is not as good as us, but we're the bad people like there, you know. It's unfair. Do I think like after we build more rapport, it'll probably not happen as much, but it could still happen again, I think. You know, it's just like, after you know, I've watched Dawn like go from like, you know, almost getting into like the top 8s to like then getting in the top 8s and stuff. Like I think you made Sea Otaku top 8. It wasn't last year, but it was the year before.
It was the year before. I wasn't playing last year.
And you know, your growth, like there's less people that are going to talk shit, but even then there's still going to be people that like probably
they're still going to talk, still going to talk shit. Yeah,
and same with course. Like I'm sure the same like goes for my teammate Cuddlecore, you know, on Equinox. She is, I think also I wanted to bring this up, and Dawn, you might be able to agree with me. I feel like one of the games that women excel the most at and get really more welcomed in is Tekken. I think Tekken is like maybe the most women friendly, not just play wise maybe game, because I see a lot of women actually excel, even like just, you know, even if they don't make it out of pools, like they can be newer to it and still like get, you know, like beat somebody in like pools, right? But also like at a high level, like we see not just Cuddlecore, but we see other players like Miles and I'm sure there's other names. I'm just like all combobulated right now, but I think it's
Well,
like
you do have a
welcome.
cat on your lap, so you know.
Yeah,
it's hard to think
like
straight.
he always jumps on the lap. I'm not gonna alinity him, so he's welcome here.
He seems very welcome. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. To me, I think the Tekken community is just one of the nicer communities, to be honest. I think weirdly the anime community is one of the nicer communities as well. Like both of those seem slightly less toxic than the others. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the play base. Maybe it's just the type of game it is. But yeah, there are a lot of women that beat some ass at Tekken. Whereas the only way to play Tekken, you can either be okay or you can beat some ass. There's no in between. So.
Yeah, I've seen the anime community, like even though it has its like moments where we question things, I've seen the anime community also be a very like exciting place for women to like maybe get games in and feel okay like when they're playing. I'm sure there's still instances of unwelcomeness as any community can do, you know, but
yeah, I feel like it's more on the individual level.
Yeah, but we have a lot of really strong women too. I see that like they're playing like the clip of like the women of the FGC panel, the Combo Queens panel, and that was like a really nice thing to witness as well. Just you know all the different people, whether they're managers, players, writers. You know, we have many talented women of all backgrounds, whether they're LGBTQ or you know. White, Black, Asian, whatever. Like we do have a really diverse group of people, I think. And you know we're growing, but I don't want to get too off subject because I know we have like all these like subjects to still go over and stuff. So